Well, hello everybody, and welcome to the show. This is Bugbear's Basement, of course, and we are going to be continuing in the Moonshea Isles, episode 18. Damn, we have certainly brought this thing along, and we've had quite the journey and adventure. I'm kind of surprised that a 2 hour format actually can work, but it does. Of course, for those of you who have been watching along from the sides and not making comments, I do realize that it's very, very accelerated. I also understand that I am allowing all the players to take many liberties with the rules, but you know what? Rules are made to be broken. And we're having fun. I mean, just look what we got. We got ourselves a monk that moves at flash speed. That's sweet, dude. We got a cleric, an elven cleric, who is desperate to save the world from something. We have an absolutely out of its mind Asimir, I do believe tiefling hybrid, that really, really loves fire. We have a corny tipped bard who needed to have his venereal disease repaired live on air, by the way, who sings quite beautifully. Yeah. And we have a poor young soul, a young fellow who's deeply in love with this just gorgeous thing that is named Lacey. That's what we got. We got a great crew, and I'm really happy with it. And we're having a good time, and we're about to move into it. I'm telling you, it's about to pick up. And let's come over here and say hello to the guys. So Speedy, how you doing there, dude?
I'm good, man. Got here just when you started up, so
Yeah, perfect
good
timing.
timing.
Yeah, perfect.
Yeah,
Yeah, sweet.
yeah.
Uh,
I'm ready to go, man.
All right, and of course, we're also have ourselves the comic book Bob with us. It's a beautiful man. How you doing, dude?
What's up? What's up? What's up?
All right. We have just pure dripping sex, Slick Jimmy.
How you doing, babies?
You and I should start a radio show together, brother. That'd be really cool. We got
Yeah.
GOP over here, and I don't know what exactly he does, but whatever it is, don't ask him about what's up his ass. All right, go ahead, GOP.
Wait, you know about that? Yeah, no, I'm cool. I'm excited for tonight. It's gonna be fun.
It is going to be fun. And the young man, a very talented young man. How you doing, Zach?
I'm doing pretty good. Pretty good. A little less young, but you know.
Yeah, that's true. You had a
Yeah.
birthday. We sang. We were going to sing birthday. Happy birthday to you. I sang happy birthday to you. I did a pretty good Maryland. I think it was pretty good.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
You did.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I know. I don't know. 30 is a weird thing. I had a weird revelation this week
Mhm.
of being 30, and I feel old.
Oh wow.
I don't know
Okay.
why.
Shut the hell up.
Shut the hell up, dude. I'm about to have. I'm about to turn 50
You
this
poor
year, dude.
boy. 30 decades. In 3 decades. How terrible is that?
That's so
You don't
horrible.
even, you don't even have wrinkles on your nuts.
That's true. That's true. That's true.
Hi, Slick.
Yeah. Yeah.
Love you, man.
Yeah. Yeah. It's the gray hairs that show up in odd places that are the real problem. Yeah. Trust me. You'll learn.
Mhm.
But anyway, very nice to have you guys in here. Now, today we're going to jump right into it because we got a lot to do. And the good thing is, I have a plan. I know
Is
where
that
we're
a
going.
good thing?
Oh, it's a
Okay,
wonderful
good.
thing. It's a wonderful thing. Because I know exactly where we're going. Because, one of the things we did when this campaign started was we were going to do my best to not make it a linear thing and let the players make decisions. And their decisions have led us to where we are today. And I have adapted the story all the way along, and which is, of course, my job. But now we've got to the point now that I know exactly what the end game is. So we're going to, and they've put themselves in a situation where they have no choice but to do the end game. Therefore, linear rails are on. They have been activated, and we're about to take this thing out into a very interesting direction, I think. So let me go over here and do our quick little layup and let you guys know what's happened, and we need to do that each video. Does anybody have any questions or anything to say before I get into this?
No, I'm good.
All right, sweet.
Hakuna Matata.
Yeah, I'm chill.
Hakuna Matata. Very good. All right, here we go. All right. Now, As you guys know, who have been watching along, and we do appreciate it, we of course are in the Forgotten Realms on the planet of Toriel, and we're particularly in the Moonshea Isles over here. And one of the things that's going on the planet right now, seemingly, is a second time of troubles. The gods are walking around. We don't know exactly why. The spell plague has been finished for a few decades now, and there's been a lot of activity happen after it. But in the course of our story, we found that even though everyone thought the spell plague was gone and the goddess of magic has been reformed and returned, the spell plague still exists somehow, seemingly it lives within the greater god Sylvanus, and that's a problem, right? Now, is this why the gods are walking? We don't know yet, but the gods are walking upon the face of Faerun, and not only just the pantheon of this planet itself. We also have some of the first gods are walking around, like Corellon. For instance, the god of the elves. He's not specifically here to the Forgotten Realms, of course, but he's actually walking on the planet. The crew has met him, actually. So that's kind of interesting. But of course, we started on Moray, and that has fallen to the machinations of Sylvanus, who has gone quite mad. But he's basically rising all the humanoids and, of course, the werewolves, which has been a constant thing of Moray. For those of you who are curious about a little bit more of the backstory of that, the Leywer elves are coming from the Lafosse, right? And the Lapsei, of course, were, if we go back to the Crown Wars in ancient Forgotten Realms histories, we know that they were the ones who introduced lycanthropy to the existence anyway. Right, and these guys are the descendants of them, the Leywer elves here in the Moonshea Isles, and this used to be a very important place long ago. So there's those kind of connections as well, but. Nevertheless, and it's seemingly that Sylvanus is going to take his inhuman army and he's going to bring it in here to Serifal because he has some problem with the Eladrin who have returned. And I know that the creators of this creature call it the Eladrin. I understand that for those of you who might be screaming at me through your screens there, but I've never liked the name Eladrin. The Ladrin have never been fleshed out properly, ever. I prefer what I do with them, and I prefer the name Eladrin. That's just what I do. That's my campaign. You can do whatever you want in yours. So stop screaming at me. All right. So, but other than that, the Eladrin are causing big trouble, and now we have learned why. Because we're over here in this Kings Bay, and we came kind of to the source of the problem. The Eladrin are in the service of Loath. At least these Eladrin are, and they have taken over the moon, the power center of the Moonshea Isles. Now, Alaron to the north is really the biggest Folk center, but they have been greatly diminished in power compared to the Eladrin because they're extremely powerful Feywild elves, and then not only have they returned to the prime material, they have also have risen the old mythal of Carador from the bottom of the Murloc lake, and they have reinstituted the mythal itself. Now, of course, this is high magic, and elven high magic is unlike anything else. There's nothing that compares to high magic. So this very interesting thing is going on. Now, our party here, especially the ones who were from Serafel, have been gone for a couple of years, and they uncovered all this truth in Kings Bay, and they barely made it out with their skin. Because not only did they have to fight an Eladrin Sentinel, they also had to deal with a lich that was in place to oversee this eastern coast, basically, is what he was there for. And they not only survived his dragon form, they survived him. So they went through hell, and they are survived, and they're out in the middle of the Tir Fui Thoin, which is kind of like a Sargasso type of coral based area in the ocean, and they're just kind of chilling, trying to make decisions on what they want to do. I think that is a very quick primer compared to a lot of ones I've tried to do. But I think that gets you guys up to speed. And of course, we had the a really good fight. Of course, we have the Sentinel, which was taken out. Kings Bay is behind them now. Of course, I came up with this new picture. What do you guys think?
Oh, nice. I like it.
Yeah, I like it.
I'm gonna need 15 minutes for that picture.
But of course, Mayor Redmayne has become Captain Redmayne, and she's the captain of the 3-ship fleet that the crew has at their service. Like I said, they're out in the middle of the Coral Sea there. Of course, here is some the Redmayne's fleet. Oh, very, very nice. Of course, they defeated the Lich, and by the way, his name is Agathoth. The Lich, very powerful, very powerful. They even faced his dragon form. Ooh, very, very nice. Yeah, nice battle too. But that's where we are. That's what's brought us up to the point we're at, and therefore I'm going to throw it back over to these guys for a little bit of conversation. But like I said, I kind of know where they're going. But nevertheless, what do you guys think? Why is that doing that?
I am deep asleep.
You're asleep.
I'm assuming we're on the boat and we've left the immediate area.
You have, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, that's
Mhm.
that's probably the wise decision to get out of there. And then I'm guessing we took.
Well, like I said, you're out in the Coral Sea, and you've been out there, and you're safe. Nothing's coming at you. You guys have had a couple of days to just rest yourself and try to make a decision on where the future lies. Now,
Okay.
go ahead.
I was going to say in that time frame, I would like to gather 10 pieces of silverware from the mess area, knives, preferably.
Uh-huh.
Just have them on me in a little sack handy.
Okay, you're stealing the silverware.
You don't have to steal it. Like this is like they work for us now.
I know. I'm just taking it. It's on me now. I have it.
Okay.
Okay, he has it. He has half of it.
I'm just like reeling from everything, and I'm just trying to figure out what to do next. Because at this point, he's completely lost. Like everything is just falling apart. And this, like the size of this is daunting.
Well, I'm
but,
gonna come back to you, Adderall. Actually,
Okay.
I'm gonna come back to you, Bill.
All right. Well, I'm thinking I'm going to meditate and I'm going to use some perception, glean some wisdom, because my thoughts are maybe going to get more ammunition or resources at a larger port where there may be some organized offense or defense against the realm of the Underdark.
Well, now
like going maybe to Baldur's Gate to try and get audience with a wizard of
Baldur's Gate.
of Great
Jesus.
One.
Okay, fine.
Of Great One Inner Power. Or
Now, here's the thing. You said you're meditating, as in a monk meditation. You don't do an elven reverie.
I can. I mean, but
I don't think you can actually.
No, half elves can't do that.
Oh,
Yeah, I
all
don't
right.
think you
Then
can.
no. I've got my legs folded and I'm balancing on one finger.
Oh, there you
And
go.
I'm
You're
wrist power.
monking it up. You're monking it up. All right,
Yeah.
cool. Fire lady.
Well, I attuned myself to all my
That's a good
special
point. That's a good
stuff,
point.
and
Yeah.
I pondered and meditated upon what I'm going to do with my mithril coat and what I'm going to add to it when we find a fine place to be and get that done. And then I shadowed our fine captain, maybe trying to seduce her. Who knows?
I see. All right, very well.
Damn
She
it.
is sexy. She is
I was
definitely
gonna
sexy.
do.
Yeah.
I was good. You're a bit
think
short
the
for that
captain-
endeavor.
Yeah, I think the captain got some enhancements while we were gone.
She did.
I'm learning. I'm also learning about from her. I'm learning about sailing, so I might add that to my repertoire.
You could. You absolutely could. You guys have spent enough time on the ship to add a skill. See, that's one of the complaints I have about 5th edition. It's not built in. Now, as the DM, I can say, yeah, go ahead, take it. But I mean, it's just not built into the system. It's such a thin system. Anyway, GOP's stealing silverware, and Zach, what are you and Lacey up to?
What haven't we been up to? I'm just
Oh
kidding.
my!
Oh,
Wah, wah, wah.
my devil!
No,
Oh,
I
behave.
When the
it
large
was
galleys are rocking, don't come
probably
a knocking.
probably a good solid like day of passionate craziness just because we survived so much junk.
That's probably true. That is fair. Yeah.
That
And so do I get like stat bonuses
explains-
for being a man? I
No,
mean,
you do not.
That explains
is
the ship has been
expected, sir.
listing side to side.
Oh,
It really,
Huh?
Bro, you do know that in your relationship, she's the man.
That is
Oh
fair.
heck no!
That is
when
fair
it comes
point.
to that stuff, no.
It is fair point. Yeah,
She may be the warrior, but I know I've got the knowledge.
that's true.
I know how to make her knees weak.
Uh oh. Am I gonna have to show the Lacey picture
so-
again? Damn it! All right, fine. All right, you asked for it. I'm doing it. All right.
I don't know. I heard you wield a quarterstaff. But I'm bumped.
Oh,
It's actually
that's
a bucket of
just
quarter
mean.
Cornelius still thinks your character is a virgin, by the way.
staff.
There she is,
There you
the
go.
mighty Lacey.
The
Ah,
mighty Lacey.
this is such a wonderful picture. It's from Anna Lakasova. .com. I'm assuming that's the artist. I don't know, but rock on there, Anna. You are quite the artist. That's very nice. All right,
.com
so
is an interesting
.com. So I guess we're on the deck and we're just kind of being the since my character is kind of like just kind of the I'm kind of gonna do whatever you guys are doing because I really don't have a home anymore and I don't have anywhere to go and the world is ending. So,
But you got your girl.
yep, I got my girl.
true. Now the trouble that
So-
you guys and you do have the girl. That's true. Now, the problem that you guys are having, that you understand, because you're not, even though you could take the sailing skill if you'd like, I have no problem with that. You are not, experienced sailors like Redmayne is, and for any of you who's taken time to talk to her, I'm assuming Adderall and Laz are definitely know this. She has been doing quite a bit to stay out of sight. The ocean ways are definitely being controlled by the Eladrin. Now she's done it with fairly easily. It's not something that's a big challenge to her, but it's not 100% safe, right? Now, the area you're in has some very shallow waters. Therefore, you have to really be working on the knots and depth checking and all those kind of things, which she does. So, but that's the situation. It's not like you're just out, leising on oh goodness gracious, my brain, leisuring away on some beach somewhere. But something very important does happen during this couple of days. Adderall is the only actual elf here, right?
Mhm.
Right.
Yep.
You're the one actual elf here. And because this is a Ffolk crew, Ffolk and Nord crew, really. Now, of course, every day you do your reverie, which is the 4-hour meditation for those you don't know. And now, the interesting thing about an elf that you might not know is the fact that the reverie is not sleep per se. You see, the elven race is a cursed race, right? And they've been cursed by their god, Corlin, for betraying him long ago. And therefore, when an elf dies, it's not allowed to stay in the heaven of the elves for hardly any time at all, and they're thrown back. So every elf that exists is a reincarnation of the first generation. There are no new elves, right? Except for possibly amongst the drow, because they've been separated from the glory of what's the heaven called? Starts with an A.
Arborea?
Uh,
Arborea?
No, oh damn it! Let's look that up. Avor. Oh goodness, God. Anyway, so elves there are no new elves. They're the constant reincarnation, right? Because of their curse. And
Alfamir.
no, that's not it. That's not it. No.
Alzheimer? No, that's not
No.
it. That's what the heck is it?
Alzheimer's.
Alfheim?
Seldarine.
No, the Seldarine are the good pantheon
right.
of elves.
Arvindor.
There it is, Arvindor. There, that's right. That's right. There it is.
Yeah, Arvandor. That's what it
A
is. I couldn't
Vandor, a
remember.
Vandor, a Vandor. Yeah. Thank you. But anyway, so they can't get into Vandor, the Drow. But my point being is, for the first 30 years of life of a elf, their reverie, they actually see their first existence from thousands and thousands of years ago. It's them when it's basically when they were in the garden before getting kicked out. If you wanted to take a religious context to it, and for the first 30 years of life, you're in this thing because in the reverie, an elf basically finds a happy, peaceful memory to dwell upon for that 4 hours. That's what reverie is. But the first 30 years, they actually are having memories of their very first life from thousands of years ago. And then around 30, this stops. And then they start having dreams of their own existence. This is a very sad moment for elves, really. And then, of course, around 100 years old, when they become an adult, they have another shift, right? Because elves, it's all about their perception. Their aging is about perception. It's not about actual just getting older like other creatures. But here's the thing: last night, during your reverie, Adderall, you had a memory of your first self, and that should be impossible.
Ooh.
It's
Okay.
quite disturbing to you, actually.
So what occurs? Is there anything specific occurs, or is just the fact that it happens?
The fact that it happens because you know it is, but you have no memory of it because at 30 you lose this. Well, actually, at 100 you lose the memory you had
At
gained
30, it
from
starts
those
to
is
fade.
completely gone, right?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Yeah,
go
at
ahead.
30 it starts to fade, and that's why you start running around doing adventures because you're trying to build new memories.
That's right. But this is a very disturbing thing to you. The fact that you know this is a memory from your very first self from so many reincarnations ago. Of course, the elves, the reason the elves were cursed is because they betrayed Corellon, because the elves originally were a shape-shifting species, right? Like Corellon himself. And they chose a shape, and this pissed him off, right? But
Right.
I'm not going to get into all that lore. It's very important that your reverie is giving you memories of your first self, and there's no way that should be possible. As far as you know, you're not a wizard, but even with the high magic that the elves possess, this should not be possible. But yet it is happening. And you don't know why, and therefore this has put a very, very disconcerted feeling within you, and I would assume Bill as well. You really feel that you need to return to your home. You need to go home.
Okay.
Now it's a bit of a risk, maybe, but you think that there's no way that the elves of Hyoclad, where you guys trained and spent, Bill grew up there, right? There's no way the elves of Hyoclad would betray you, because elves don't do that.
Right.
Okay. I will. I'm gonna go to everybody, and say basically I'll just go to each person and say we need to talk. Let's meet below and discuss this. So I'm going to each person.
Okay. So everyone gathers below deck, and there's no cargo here, so it's pretty easy to have a conversation other than food stuff and water and such. So you're all together and you're having a conversation. Now you know that Hyoclad, which of course is not where either one of you guys are from, but it's where you trained, right? After the war, both of you guys were displaced. Bill is a child. You were a little older, but you were kind of a child. I mean, how old is your elf, Adderall?
I think he's in his 70s. Give me 1 second here. Let me pull up my sheet.
So he's ridiculously young. He's too young, actually. He should be
Yeah.
at more like 110 or something like that.
Yeah. Well, it's like his village was destroyed, so he got taken in. So it's kind of a forced thing.
Yeah, no, I get that. That's fine. So you are basically a teenager. I get it. Okay. But you guys grew up in Hyoclad. Now, Hyoclad is on the southern coast here of Gwyneth because it was part of Gwyneth. It wasn't part of the Mirlac Vale at all. But it's where you guys grew up, and it's where you guys were trained, et cetera, et cetera. Basically, if you look at the map I have up here, which I hope, am I sharing? No, now I am. I'm sorry. You guys are over here in the Tirfori Thoin, which is this coral sea right here. Let me bring my thing over here. You guys are over here, right? And way over here is Hyoclad. See, right here.
Yep.
So it's actually not that far comparatively. And this is where you two are from. None of these people have any understanding whatsoever of Seraphel. Now, Laz, because of her situation, she ended up in Hyoclad. So, I mean, Laz knows the place kind of too. She was there for a little while. But we got to go home. There's no other safe place. There's no other port you could go to that would be safe. Obviously, you guys have been marked. There's no way you're not marked. You killed an Eladrin Sentinel, and you defeated their Lich. There's no way you're not marked. It's impossible. So you really feel you have to go home.
I will actually, when I get everybody down there, I say, I need to talk to you about something. And I explain to them what the reverie is and what just happened, to give them an idea of just how important that is. It's like, this is not possible. It should not be possible.
So wait a second. You're telling us that we need to follow your dreams? I mean, if we did that for mine, we'd all be naked.
True. That's a fair point.
What?
He's a pervert. He's a pervert, is what he's telling you.
I mean, I'm just saying, like it's a dream, you know? Everybody has dreams.
These are not dreams. These are memories.
Yeah, they're not dreams. The halfling doesn't understand.
They're memories of a past life that should not be possible. That should not be possible for me to have. Whatever's happening in this world is literally altering the fabric of reality. And I have an overwhelming feeling that we need. I look at
Francis.
I look at Francis. I just can't get past that name, man. And I say, we need to go home. I can't explain it. If I have to, I will commune with Coraline to verify this if everyone feels that would be better. But I have an overwhelming sense that we need to go back where we started.
And it's also a safe port, and it's also an actual elven kingdom, an actual one. It's not some human-built or mix-built place. It's an actual high magic elven city, a real one. Which means it's not hard. It's not easy to take a city like that. But it also means that don't piss the king off. It's probably you don't want to do that.
Well, I mean, if we did want to go anywhere, we should probably have disguises. I've got a spell that could basically make us all look like something different if we wanted to.
Going there, we don't need that. Hyoclad.
Yeah, but you never know.
Well, keep it in your pocket, and if it's we feel like it's something we need, then we will use it. But
keep just
the
as a
they will not betray us.
Just as a piece of information, Hyoclad's, and what I meant by actual Elven Kingdom in the Forgotten Realms is Hyoclad has a mythal, a functioning one from ancient times. So you wouldn't be able to have some kind of magical disguise anyway. Now, a physical disguise you could do, but a magical one would not function within the mythal.
Not aware of that.
Something's in the sky.
Yeah, there's a plane attacking the ship. It's World War II.
Oh God, it's another dragon.
Somebody just strafed my house.
Right.
And like I said, my connection with Coraline has strengthened to the point where if you feel it necessary, I can commune with him and get a yes or no answer. But I have an overwhelming feeling that this is where we need to go. And to be completely honest, I have I'm at a loss without what else to do.
Coriolanus has sent us here. I think that it's prudent that you would commune with him. But I will follow where you go, even though you annoy me.
I think we should head back to the Sword Coast, but that's just me.
Well, you've been trying to run a race since day one. So
Yeah. Look, we got so much here. Look at all the gold we have. I mean,
Fair
frankly,
point.
with all of us combined over there, we could do some great stuff. Just leave these islands, leave them be. They'll all settle each other out in the long run, anyways.
Courtney just wants to let them burn. I would like to go back to Waterdeep. I have business there. But if it is imperative that you return, I will go with you, even though I find you annoying.
We have been tasked.
When he is young.
I just roll my eyes at Laz. We've been tasked by Corlane himself. He literally appeared to us in physical form. You do not refuse that kind of mandate.
Well, here's.
I don't think anyone's refusing. So
Yeah, I'm not refusing to go. But I would like to point out that, for us working for a god, it'd be nice if the god was a bit more direct on what they wanted us to do.
We're not gods ever direct. But I understand your frustration, but this is the way the gods are. But as I said, my connection with them has strengthened to the point where I can get at least a straight answer for something that is pretty much a yes or no answer. So.
Your camera's gone off, by the way, Bob.
Oh, crap. How did that happen?
Let us stop nattering about and make a decision. We're just wallowing out here in the water.
Very true. Oh,
Let's
I'm done with
go.
whatever you guys do. I
You all
guess we're
ready for
going
next
then?
adventure?
I don't think anyone's gonna.
Well, like I said, if they want me to, I will actually use communion and talk to Corlane.
Well, you can do whatever
You
you
do
want.
so.
Okay. So I go find a quiet spot. I pull out I take my shield, lay it in front of me so that I can focus on my semantic symbol, and I actually focus on that memory of Arvindor to help me connect with Corlane. And before I do that, though, I ask everybody I can ask 3 questions. What do you want me to ask? Other than should we go back to?
Is that three questions all the way around, or 4 questions other than?
No,
No,
3
3
questions. 3 questions. It's always 3.
3 questions. Yeah.
All right, fine.
Now should we go to Hyoclast is the first one. Is there anything else that you want me to ask?
What does he want of us to do on the blasted isle that is trying to kill us?
It won't work like that. It's too specific. Yes or no?
Ask for a boon to repel Lolth.
He's already given us that.
Okay, well, there you go. That was
Yes or
my
no?
idea.
Yes or no questions. Those are all I can ask.
How do we?
It's for pizza.
So wait, are the Eldrin? Do you think the Eldrin are doing this by choice, or do you think they're doing this simply because they're corrupted in the normal sense?
That's a good one. We can ask that.
And really, honestly, how do we even cure them? You cure whatever's wrong if they are just infected and that's all of it.
Ask a yes or no question, and I don't have any. All of them are. I want specifics.
Well, maybe you should ask, are they possessed?
Yeah. Well, I'm just going to ask, are the Eldrin following Loath by choice?
Yeah. So you get your questions ready?
How many do we have? Is that the
we have 2 so far, so.
Can we wish for more questions?
Yeah.
No.
You can't even come up with 3. What do you need more for?
Yeah. Okay, I'll just wing the last one then.
All right, go ahead.
So I do all that and I sit down. We are adrift after the events that have occurred. And I have experienced what should not be possible. And I have an overwhelming sense that we are to return where we began in Hyoclot. Should we return to where we began?
You hear a voice in your head, and it says, "Return to the warm embrace of Adara." Now, Adara was your mentor, you particularly, Adderil, in your priestly order, and she might well have been your first intimate experience as well.
Oh boy.
Oh,
Bounce your wow. All right.
Bow, chicka, bow, bow, chicka, bow, bow.
Okay. Second question I ask is, Loth is apparently behind some of what is happening. We found her mark on several of what should be your followers, including the Eladrin. Are the Eladrin following Loth by choice?
Yes.
His face just kind of goes white at the thought of that for a second, whiter than even normal.
You have
And,
3.
Yep.
Yep.
I'm trying to think of the last one.
How about
Something about Loth and Sylvanas' relationship or something.
Is Loth?
I'm sorry, Jimmy. What were you going to say?
no? Go with the Loth
That's
question.
actually a good
Is
question.
Loth
That was actually
is
what I was
Loth
gonna ask anyway.
influence Sylvanas?
Yeah.
Are they working together?
Is Loth
You're-
responsible for what has happened to Sylvanas?
Indeed.
Oh.
Okay. And I relayed that to everybody. The fallen.
Well, I guess we're going to Hyoclad because I want to thumb my nose at a god.
Let's go.
All right.
All right.
That was insidious right there.
Downright death.
All right,
Love
here
it.
we go. So you guys tell Redmayne, and she happily gets underway because she's been kind of tired of trying to duck these patrols. And you guys head to the west. Now, the journey between the Coral Sea, where you are, and Dragonhead is pretty uneventful. She sees some flags and some sails on the horizon, and she just dodges them. Her ships here that she has are pretty docile, not docile, pretty nimble ships, which means they're not as big as some of the big ones around, but they're pretty quick. So she's able to do that. When you get around Dragon's Head, it gets a little bit touchy because there's a lot more traffic up here because there is an actual Eladrin stronghold to Castle of Skulls, but she's able to masterfully, dodge and get around. She's actually a pretty good captain. She knows what she's doing, and
She's obviously very buoyant.
she is very buoyant. She will never drown. But she manages to take a run across an open ocean run, which is usually a little bit dangerous. But instead of hugging the coast, because you don't want to do that. But she makes a run from Dragonhead over to Hyoclad, and she does it pretty successfully. So after many, many days of sail and pretty good weather, actually, luckily, especially for the time of year we're in, she comes into the entrance of Hyoclad. Now, Let me get myself back over here. I got so many icons, pictures we've used in this adventure. It's awesome. All right, so you come up to the entrance of Hyoclad. Now, she's never been here before, but three of you have. So you kind of direct her as to where she needs to go. And basically, Hyoclad, as you approach, this southern side of Gwyneth is kind of like the white cliffs of Dover, right? They're very high cliffs, and they're you find a break in the cliff. It's like a river coming out, but it's a very kind of a limestone canyon, and you start traveling up it. It's not super wide, but it's maybe a little narrow for. She feels a little. She's very focused on making sure she doesn't tear up these ships. But they're traveling in a line and they are heading up this river. Now, above you, as these ships are traveling along, you notice that at first it's just these sheer cliffs, but then all of a sudden you start seeing trees, and the trees get bigger and bigger and bigger as you get, and finally, the entire canopy above you is roots. The roots of a tree that are stretched out across the side of each cliff as you head through this kind of river cut canyon. And some of the roots even reach down into the water on the sides of the cliff. It's truly a spectacle to behold for anyone who hasn't seen it. And of course, these type of elven places are created by magic. They're a magical creation themselves, but it is impressive nonetheless. And then finally, you
Nice.
come up to the docking area of Hyoclad, and above you lies the city of Hyoclad. I know that Adaril and Francis feel very comfortable now, and all of you should. You have entered into an actual functioning mythal, which there's not many left on the planet. Now, this mythal is very old. It's not as strong as it used to be, but it does function. Therefore, there are few rules that will apply to you while you're in Hyoclad. No illusionary magic is possible within the mythal. None. Right? If the king demands you to be left, the magic of the mythal will literally throw you out. Literally. Right? So don't piss off the king. That's kind of a standard thing anyway. And there's other magics that are in place, but you're not demons or anything like that, so it wouldn't matter. But basically, the cleric and the monk tell you just, don't show your ass off. Just be respectful and, keep it down, and you should be fine, right? This
Yeah,
isn't.
we point that directly at Cornelius.
Yeah.
I 2 points, but I'll wait.
No, go ahead, dude. Go ahead.
1 point is Jimmy is half tiefling.
Yes, I understand
So-
he is. He's also half Asimir. Yeah.
I am just saying that wouldn't interfere. I'm just curious with.
It could,
The
but he's been here before.
yeah,
Oh yeah, that's true.
and plus he's got Coraline's symbol that's kind of taking care of that.
That is a fair point. That's true. He is wearing the talisman of Coraline himself. So yeah, a good point. But nevertheless, you guys come up to this port, and seemingly waiting for you are a bunch of elven guards in full armor. They look at you, probably one or two of them you guys actually know and have met because these elven communities are pretty tight. But they kind of look at you and they tell Captain Redmayne, who they know by name, by the way, and they tell her to stay on board the ship with her crew until told otherwise, which she just kind of nods. The rest of you come with us. Now, yeah, go ahead.
Go ahead. I was gonna say, I pull Redmond aside and I give her 100 gold, and I tell her to when she's allowed to restock what's needed for the ships and the crew.
And she says, very well. Now, you guys are led by the guard. Now, they don't shackle you. They don't put spear tip to you. They don't do like that. But you are being escorted, most certainly. And you feel like you're being escorted, for sure. But as you climb the root stairs and you're looking at the majesty that is Hyoclad, you come up into the city proper. Now, Hyoclad is absolutely beautifully elven kingdom. It's all built on high magic thousands of years ago, and it still stands in its absolute grandeur of its original creation. The buildings are part of the trees themselves. The trees have been formed together to create gigantic trees. It's just a marvel, maybe possibly one of the most beautiful elven kingdoms outside of Evermeet, actually. And because Evermeet itself, as the elf amongst you knows, literally they took a piece of Avendor and ripped it down into the prime material, and that is what Evermeet is. It's actually a piece of their heaven brought to earth. But Hyoclad is impressive, and like I said, it's an actual functioning mythal. And you guys are walking up and coming into this just beautiful place. Now, the ones who were lived here before are probably used to it, but the rest of you guys just the stunning magic of elves is breathtaking, right? Impressive. Now, of course,
Yeah,
you
it reminds me of oh my gosh, Galadriel's home times 11.
in the Mirkwood, yeah.
No, not Mirkwood. Oh no, my Lord of the Rings lord's gone. No, Galadriel. Like when they went through all the trees and man, that was freaking awesome scenery there.
Oh, that's right. I can't remember the name of that offhand, but I know what you're saying. It was beautiful. You're right. But
Yeah.
yes, it's this is all taken off of Tolkien, guys. Yeah, of course. But anyway, you are led into the actual throne room, which in itself is very interesting type of place. You're led up to the king directly. There have been no conversations along the way. If you try to talk to the guards, even the one or two that you might know, Bill or Bob, they do not respond to you, and you understand why.
Okay.
Yeah.
Lothlorien, by the way.
Lothlorien, there
thank
you
you.
go. Thank you very much, sir.
But we also know that this is not normal, right?
No.
For us
No,
to come off the boat and be escorted all the way up in the throne. So we're
no, you know it's not
Is this
normal. Yeah.
is this a thing for high honor, or is this where I'm kind of like
Oh
I'm getting a
no,
little nervous?
you are you guys. You know, you probably didn't say this to your party members, but you know you are basically under arrest.
Yeah.
It's an elven
This
way
is,
of doing it.
Yeah.
Yeah, yeah, and you know this, but you probably wouldn't say that to your party members. I'm assuming, right? But
No, not the corny or less.
no,
Yeah.
or the young lad.
Already, is he just like, wow, we're getting the royal treatment? This is
Yeah,
great.
exactly,
Yeah.
and let him feel that. Now,
the red carpet leads to iron bars.
yeah.
Woo!
Now, Lacey is particular taken back with the place. She's never seen such a thing in her life. Neither is Zach either. The rest of the party have seen amazing things. I mean, two of our party, well, one of our party has been here. Non-elf has been here. But even though the halfling has never been to Hyoclad itself, he's been to frickin' Waterdeep. That's impressive. Right, so Zach and Lacey have never seen anything like this. They are country baron, or she's a country baroness. And they just this is beyond their
And
expectations.
Zach's her country bumpkin.
Yeah, they are. They're country folk, right?
Oh.
Yeah. But anyway, you are led up and you come before this court. Now, do keep in mind, elven courts are run very much like they are in the Feywild, right? So, as with Oberon and his, he's the king of all Fey, of course, and elves are a type of Fey. He sits in court with all his courtly advisors around him, as you can see here in the throne room, and of course, a close-up view of it right here. You see the king, Lord Thrinbone. Now, you, of course, have spoken to Lord Thrinbone before, both of you, Bill and Bob's character, but he is an elven king. He's super old. He's actually a high magic user, so you know he's at least 400 years old, probably much older than that. Right, and his whole court is very powerful. There's several high. They can actually do a 12-man spell in Hyoclad. Which is impressive, right? So this is no place to take lightly whatsoever. Now, he doesn't look angry. He doesn't look happy. But you never know really what to get from Thrinbone. He's so old that he's kind of almost alien in his thoughts in a way. But he sees you and he bows his head and he says, welcome back, Adderil, Autumn Wind. And is that the young Francis?
Yeah, I'll take a knee and say, yes, my lord.
Very well. Well, you have certainly stirred up things, have you not, Adderil?
Well, we go by Corlane's will, and it has led us into quite. Yes, we have stirred things up.
And I am assuming that your master, seeing as you are such a young elf yourself, such adventures for a young one, but your master has passed away.
He has. He fell in the wolf's first attack, as did
Yes.
all of the Moonshea.
Well, I guess this tells us
Well-
that Moray is certainly infested by werewolves. Of course, the situation has gone beyond that, hasn't it? Sylvanus has risen up. Now, of course, this is not your responsibility whatsoever, and I hold this not against you, but the Eldrin are calling for your head as well as your other companions.
There's a great deal that has happened, and I don't know how much you know. So I will just start at the beginning, and I will basically, unless he stops me, I will just explain to him like what's happened from the start and Loth's involvement and the fact that I actually entered the reverie. Even though I'm young, I still shouldn't be able to do that. And I just kind of impressed upon him like, and then I kind of stressed the fact that we were given a mandate from Corlane himself.
All right, he listens intently. No one, he doesn't interrupt you whatsoever. The woman you see on the left-hand side, you know who she is. She is the high priestess of your order, actually. Now, you've hardly ever spoken to her. I mean, you've seen her in ceremonies and stuff, but she's the the king's advisor, so she's way beyond anything. You know, you're basically Adara is your mentor, and that's the highest official you've had any kind of real interaction with. But she comments a couple times of, almost kind of like the typical priest, how dare you speak the name of Corlane and knowing his will? And the king looks at her, says nothing, and she shuts right up. Right? So he listens intently. He says, well, we will have to verify this, but that would be interesting nevertheless if these things were true. Now he says that very well. The rest of your companions will be taken to the mead hall, and they will be fed, and they will be kept. And during this time, you will go and commune with Adara.
I understand.
Very well. Now, you guys are led away from here. You, Adderil, are led by one guard, taken to go to see Adara.
I look at everybody else over going, it's like, help me.
Wait, did you say help me?
No, I'm being a smart ass. I just like, oh shit.
Now, the rest of you guys are taken by guard to a mead hall, which sits below this throne room. Actually, it's the main mead hall of this castle, this palace, and you're given amazing drinks and foods. Everything is beautiful. The food is amazing. No one's being offensive or aggressive towards you whatsoever. But it's become quite clear to every non-elf in the group that you are not allowed to leave this room. So, as you guys enjoy your food, you, Adderil, are led to the chambers of Adara. Let's just bask for a moment. That's a nice elf, dude. I like that elf. Yeah, that's your mentor. Be happy.
So you guys gonna play Truth or Adara?
Little bit of spin the Fey wine bottle.
That's right.
Now, the guard opens the door, nods for you to enter, which you do. He closes behind the door behind you. She is simply readying herself, and she looks. She's in a mirror, but she looks like just as you see here in the mirror, looking right at you. And she says, "Well, you've had some adventures, haven't you?"
I walk in and I actually kind of like, get kneel down, like out of respect. It has been trying.
I imagine. Now, just before we move on, she is your mentor. She's the priest that's part of your group. But because she chose, even though you're so young, she chose you to be part of that group intentionally, right? Because she saw potential in you. And because you're elves, and we know how the elves are, she potentially could have been your first intimate experience. Is she or is she not? That's your
Um,
choice.
no, sure. Let's say yes.
Okay, fine. I mean, and for those of you who don't play elves, that's not a weird thing at all. With the elves, but they're free spirits. Nevertheless, she comes over and she caresses your cheek, and she puts her forehead to your forehead, and she says, "The king said that I must commune with you." Now, communion amongst the elves is not what you really. A lot of people I don't think really understand elves. As a matter of fact, Bob said that he's going to run a campaign and he offered me to be a player in it. And I think I'm going to play an elf just to show how
Okay.
an elf is played, right?
hmm
Because a lot of people don't understand them. You know those things in Star Trek they call Vulcans, right?
Yeah.
Well, if you take away the lack of emotion, a Vulcan is based on an elf. And that's why they got
Right.
the pointy ears, right? Because a lot of the powers that Spock had are elven powers. And one of the things that they can do, because the reason why they're so magical, the reason why an elf cannot be charmed or cannot be read, and these kind of things can't be done to an elf, is because they have a special gland in their brain which produces and collects magic itself. Right? This is why elves can wear metal armor and cast spells, and nobody else can, right? Because they are magic. Magic lives within them. They don't have to grab the weave is in them. And when they get to the reason why they're the only ones who could do high magic is because what they're doing is what the gods do. They learn to see the weave itself and manipulate the very weave, not simply going through it through components and somatic gestures and words and things like that. That's not what they do. They can see the weave and they can manipulate the weave, and that's because of the special brain chemistry that is an elf. And one of the things that they can do that people don't talk about very much is they can actually enter into each other's minds. Matter of fact, the elves have a hard time, and a lot of times why you see them, people think the elves are aloof, is because the elves are constantly in some manner of almost like a telepathic communication. It's more empathic than direct telepathy. And they don't understand other races that can't be that way. To be alone like that is terrifying for an elf. But nevertheless, she's going to commune with you, which means you're going to enter each other's minds. All right.
hmm
So you both sit down and you get into your reverie position, and you hold hands and you enter reverie together. Now, during this experience, she is relaying information to you about what's been going on in the court, which is mundane, really. There's nothing important. Although you know her feelings from before, none of the elves here in Hyoclad are particularly happy with what the Eladrin are doing. Right, and she is no different. But of course, more importantly, during this reverie, you relay your thoughts and your experiences to her. Now, understand this isn't this is more of an experience rather than a telepathic thing. But by the time the reverie's done, she knows the truth of the situation. So you guys stand if you want to have some conversation or something with her before she takes you back to the king. Anything like that?
He just kind of just relates to us that this is overwhelming me. I I have no idea where to go from here.
Hmm. Well, she
And
says
if you have any counsel, I would gladly take it.
she basically says, "I would not want to be in your position." Corlin himself has inducted you. There is nothing more to say. And,
Don't
fair
know if
point,
I'm up
right?
to this.
Well, you will have to be. It is you were chosen for a reason, and I understand. I saw it in you as well. Come now, we cannot keep the king waiting. So you are brought before the king, and you wait a moment as the king puts his hand up, and you guys down there are eating and such. A guard comes in, and all the guards say, "We have to return to the king now." Maybe the hobbit, I'm sure, is stuffing its mouth with a large
Oh, yes.
wineskin. Huh?
The entire time.
The entire
Yes.
time, yes, the entire time.
That's so good.
It probably is really good, actually. But
check the silverware.
check this exactly. Check the silverware.
Their silverware, is it nicer than the one, like, because I mine's next.
Yeah, probably a little.
Now, you guys are all led back up to the king's throne, and you have Idera is speaking when it's all, and the king nods his head to begin. Idera speaks to the king, and she relays exactly everything that Adoril had relayed before, and that it's clear and it's true. It is Corlin has chosen him. He is a chosen of Corlin. So. You may write that down on your character sheet if you would like. Now, technically, you're all chosen of Corlin, and you can write those down on your sheet as well. But the elves only care about him. I mean, they're elves, right? Even the half elf, because half elves are a bit. I'm like, wow, no, don't do that. That was a tangent. I'm not going to do it. But anyway, so Thrinbone says to you very clearly. He says, you will return to me in 24. You will return to me by next moon, because it is nighttime, by the way, and I will have a decision on how you should progress. So you are dismissed. Does anyone have any question for Thrinbone or his court before you leave this space?
I would just like to address him real quick and be like, Your Majesty, I just want to say that you have a beautiful city. I am in awe of your massive wood. And I knock on the ground.
Oh. I look at the king and just basically give him a look like, please don't kill us.
The king chuckles. He says, I have always enjoyed the hin. You are welcome, sir.
I bow, and then I just start walking with the...
He bows and all the silver falls out.
Right?
It's all very secure.
Anybody else have any statements or comments to make?
Great Lord, I'm pleased to be in your court. I bow low as gracefully as I can, and fix him with my eyes and smile, and that's good enough.
All right. Now, you've never actually met with the king himself before. You've seen him at a distance because you were here before, right? You were here for a little while. You've never spoke to him yourself, and he looks back at you.
Court.
Yeah, sure. You've never been brought before court. Not, why would you? But he does look at you and he says, I was told that you were tainted, but I do not feel any such taint now. How have you accomplished this?
Corlin has put his blessing upon me, and I gesture to the talisman, to the sigil, and I'm most grateful to him.
He bade you to come forward.
I do so.
All right. As you get near, he reaches out and he very gently grabs a hold of the talisman. And as soon as he touches it to lift it, because he wanted to take a better look at it, as soon as he touches it, his hand pulls away as if it burned by fire. And he says, Corlin is certainly amongst you. I need time to think. He stands and he leaves immediately before you do. Now, up until this moment, Lord Thrinbone was the absolute image of stoic control, and he just showed a little bit of emotion, which is not something he should have done. You guys are let out, nevertheless.
I'm a little bit nonplussed by that.
Actually, Chester, can I do an perception, insight check on him? His
Of
reaction to that?
Of course.
Oh shit. Okay. I don't think that's very high. Let's see, insight.
I'll do one too.
It's okay. 18.
I'll do one too.
Yeah, it's kind of, you get the feeling it's a guy who just touched his god.
Okay, I didn't know if there was like, oh crap, I'm in trouble, or
Oh,
just,
no, it's
just
nothing like that.
surprise. Okay.
No.
Hey, before this
With my
event happened,
modifier, I got 22. I don't know if that makes it any better.
Nope,
But
it's the same response. Yeah, he.
sure.
This is a very powerful being, and you know, of course, he knows the gods are real, but he's probably never had an experience. You got to understand, you guys have met and spoke to a god. You realize that's like never happens, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I mean, it's extremely rare. You are truly blessed. So it's simply his reaction wasn't evil or guilt. It was awe.
Okay.
Yeah.
and hey, before this event happens, I would
Uh-huh.
like to ask Lord Thrinbone, may I have your permission to return to my monastery to pray?
You are all free to move about my kingdom. Just do not leave. It is not safe.
Just give him a bow and then kind of won't move away.
Well, he's already left. He leaves before you do. But you guys
All
are,
right, cool.
you know, this time you're led away by a magister instead of guards, and a little retinue of other assistants and acolytes gather around him, and they all kind of take you to your rooms. Now, you guys are given very nice accommodations. It's beautiful elven stuff. You're kept in complete luxury. You have complete free roaming ability here of Hyoclad. There is no guard or restriction upon you, although he has stated that you should not leave Hyoclad, and well, for good reasons, you probably shouldn't. Anybody want to do anything before the next evening?
Yeah, I was gonna
I
say
would like
anybody
to
that
go
wants
out.
to do that magic stuff, this is probably the place to do it.
That's
I would
true.
like to get my mithril enchanted, if that's possible.
It most
Can you
certainly
guide me
is.
to that?
Yeah, no, this is a place to do it. Like I said, there are actual 12 high mages here. 12, including
And
the Lord Thrinbone himself. Yeah.
there's one other thing I'd like to do. I'd like assistance on helping me hatch my wyvern.
Oh boy.
Okay. Now, I am not 100% up on the mechanics of 5th edition as far as that goes. I doubt it's probably more simplified than 3rd edition, I would assume. But all these things you want to do, you might as well go ahead and get in motion. Just follow the book as far as the costs and stuff. I know you guys got a bunch of money. I don't know if you have enough money to do everything you want to do, but you probably have enough money to do some. Now, keep in mind, this process is going to take longer than you have to be here, though.
Yeah.
Okay.
Like it depends on what you want to do to it, is what's gonna cost and everything. So
Yeah, I just follow the book in that way. Now, what did you want to enchant on your mithril, just offhand?
Well, there's a question I'd like some assistance and maybe some advice from my party as to what would be good for that. I'm not sure at this point.
well, I mean you could try to increase its defense. You can put like a plus like +1, +2 or something like that on there. I don't think you're gonna have it +3. You're talking like 25, 30,000. You know.
Let's just do for now a +1.
Okay.
That-
So a
Okay.
I don't know what the
+1.
price is on that.
Okay.
Well,
Well,
you got the dough.
you
I
do
mean-
have the dough, but keep in mind, I'm not sure. I don't think 5th edition has a crafting system put in place, really. But basically, the easy way to do is take whatever the Dungeon Master's Guy's listing for the item is and cut it in half, and that's what it costs to have it made. Because
Yeah.
you're not going to be charged here for purchasing the item. You're just going to be charged for the construction of it. So 50% of its cost is what it's going to cost you. So.
Yeah.
So how much is the mithril
you could
coat?
actually do +2 then.
Okay, so how much is mithril?
Um,
I think
Well,
you want to look for like a +2.
Yeah.
Generic.
yeah. So +2. So +2 armor is 6,000. So it costs you 3,000 to get it enchanted.
Okay, so
You
3,000.
could almost. I mean, do you have 12,000 gold?
I do. I have 12,000 a little bit.
Okay, you could actually get it to +3, but that would cost you like the whole 12,000.
But
Yeah,
also it takes like the different levels of what you're enchanting takes longer to do.
Yeah. What
Well, how long is two?
what is the time frame for +1, +2, +3?
I think a Mithril would actually.
I would say
be-
given I would say given the fact that +2 is very rare. Let me see here. I would say maybe probably take a couple of weeks for them to do that.
I would think so.
'Cause you-
Yeah.
Because you're talking like they have to get the people together to do it, specifically anyway. And then the semantic materials have to be gathered and all that. So
Yeah.
you're
Yeah,
talking probably at least a couple weeks.
Well, unless you guys want to drop a month here.
Not particularly. I mean, he's gonna call us tomorrow and tell us what he wants us to do. So,
True.
but the thing is, you can always leave it here and then we can come back.
That's true. That is true. Yeah. It's up to you. I'm not necessarily adverse to you guys dropping a month of rest and relaxation to get your wits back about you if you want to do that way. I don't, because I haven't given you opportunity to gear up like that. I'm happy to give you one here if you'd like. There's no real rush per se.
I'd like to get it done, but that's just me. I'm not.
Me too, because I can.
And if I can get my Werven hatched and have him on my
Okay.
shoulder,
We'll drop a month here. Well, let's do that.
Okay.
Yeah, that's fine. So basically, all the things you want to do, just use the statistics that are in place. Just pay your costs and get it done. So you're gonna spend all 12 grand on getting a +3 enchantment put on your mithril coat, right?
I was.
Is
No,
that
he's gonna do +2.
you got to do +2? All right.
So that's 3 grand.
That's 3,000. And what did you want to do, Corny?
For one, finally get to sell all that, like the blood and all that stuff that I had.
Sure.
That I was going to, but we weren't at the last place for even 2 days. So
No, well, that was a problem. But here, you're completely safe. You sell everything you want to sell. The market is open to you. Now, this is a thriving elven city, by the way. This section you're in right here is the courtly area that I'm showing here. It goes way beyond this. It's a big place. You have free roam of the place. You find its magic shops. You find its everything, brothels, whatever you're interested in. You can find here in Hyoclad. This is the highest level place you've been. Matter of fact, probably. There's no artifacts here that would be sold to you anyway. And I would say legendary items are not available to you, but everything below that is available here if you have the money for it.
okay, well then I do have some things I would like to buy.
Well,
Um,
go ahead.
Not the legendary. Okay, the Ring of Mind Shielding is one that I wanted.
Okay.
That's an uncommon.
Yep, no problem.
item.
Yeah.
And then what else was there? I'm just looking through all this random stuff I have here. Sorry. And then probably. Actually, that's what I'll look at right now.
Okay.
And, how much
so
would that cost?
whatever the standard cost in the book is, just go with standard stuff. Yeah. You're not being overcharged or undercharged, just standard. Yeah. Anybody else?
I'm gonna do the same thing to my mithril shirt. I'm gonna do +2 to it.
All right. Anybody else?
Yeah. No, I would say I would go to the monastery, spend my time and study of medicine and lore of this area, and see what I can do to improve my skills on that.
Sure. It's a good place to attune stuff. It's a good place to explain why a lot of your skills are happening. Yeah, we'll drop a month or so here. There's no problem. Go ahead.
And then also was thinking that so may have a talk around and say, Baran, this is a incredible place that we're at. I think with our future in doubt, it's maybe the spot for you to pop the question to Lacey.
Oh no.
Nah.
That's
Imagine you two being wed here in this
that's an
magical
interesting
place.
thing. Is there
Oh man! All right, so I'm looking for a ring. I'm not looking for a ring too.
is there a possibility that there's anybody who could teach? I know this is going out of the bounds, but to teach a feat in this place that I could learn in this time frame, or if not, that's fine.
Well, do you have a feat available to take?
What I'm saying is like this would be an extra feat that I could learn as
Oh
opposed to one that
no!
comes with
You have to use the feats within the system. Yeah.
All right, just checking.
Nope, it's cool.
But the answer would be yes if you did have one for sure. Yeah. All right. So anything you guys want to do as far as this thing, I'll do some stuff with Lacey too, because she's just got ridiculous amounts of money, and there's a couple little things I'd like to improve on her, I suppose. So we take time, and I'll deal with that later. But anything you want to do here that's within the rules, within your budget, you are free to do. Now,
So,
Okay.
how much did I get for the blood and the armor?
whatever
left in
whatever the standard cost is, dude.
There is no standard cost.
Oh,
I was
those things. Oh, right.
Yes.
Just Google it, man.
No. I
There's
remember.
nothing
I
to look
looked at
up.
that. Let me see. You probably get around 10 grand for that.
You owe me 1,000, boy.
Well, which means everybody gets 2 grand, right?
Yep.
No, that was just he collected it, and
Yeah, it disemboweled me, so I would like some money from that.
Well, I mean, it's a party share, so everyone gets 2 grand off of that.
Oh, cool.
all right.
Yeah. All right, so you do that. And any of the other things you want to do, it's fine with me. Just go ahead. And like I said, anything under legendary is available. So just spend your money. And you guys are probably sitting around 14 to 20 grand, right?
Yeah. Well, I'm at like 11 because I gave her like 1,000 away.
Well,
so.
you guys keep saying, yeah, Lacey's got a ton of money on her, and that's another plus 2 grand. Oh, well, goodness gracious.
Yeah, I go to there's a potion shop. I'm assuming.
Oh yeah, sure.
Is Lacey
I'm-
wearing any enchanted rings at the moment? I know she's wearing something enchanted.
Well, that's one thing, and then
Not
to
really.
wrap up real quick, is we had
Okay.
2 rings. We had the spell turning and the ring of regeneration.
That's
from-
right. Yeah.
That never got it handed out. So I suggest the ring of regeneration go to whoever gets takes the most damage. Not so much the fighter, but because their hit points
Yeah,
are huge.
Baron needs that.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, and then
Yeah.
the ring of spell turning can it's a counter spell. It doesn't necessarily need to go to a magic user, but
Not at all.
I honestly would say put that up against with a fighter, just because they're going to be in front of anything being thrown at them. And then they can use that ring to counter. That's my strategy, but I don't know if you guys agree.
What did I just get?
Ring of regeneration. I'll give you.
Oh, okay.
It's you get 2d4 plus 2 per round, right? Is that?
Yeah, it's hang on 1 second, I'll pull it up for you. You get 1d6 hit points every 10 minutes,
Okay.
provided you have at least one. If you lose a body part, the ring causes the missing part to regrow and return to full function after 1d6 plus 1 days.
Yeah, that's handy. We need that on the Baron for sure. He gets hit a lot.
I'm looking for an arcane
Punching bag.
focus ring, like an orb ring.
Yep, no problem.
Where can I find the price on that? I'm looking for it.
That's not that expensive a thing. It's just a focal of Hokai. It's probably what do they charge for those? 50 gold?
It's like no, it's not even that. I think it's like 5 gold, depending on what you made it, what you want to make it out of.
Yeah, it's not very expensive.
Well,
Yeah.
So my
the
question
ring
is, how do I
right.
bump anything up? Can I bump it up so it gives me more oomph?
I don't know. I don't know if they do those with Foci. I'm not sure.
No. What you would need, I mean, you could get it enchanted with something that would do like that would give you like a permanent bless spell or something like that. Like as long as you're under the influence of it, and it would be something you would activate and probably have like maybe a number of like times you could do it a day. But
and where would I find the list for prices of things like that enchantment?
I just had it up here for a second. Give me a second, I'll look it up for you.
I'm sorry to.
No, you're good.
You know,
No, you're good.
obtuse
But the ring of spell turning would actually be good for like somebody who is a fighter, because what it does is When you're wearing the ring, you have advantage on saving throws against any spell that targets only you, as long as it's not an area of effect. As long as it targets you, you have advantage on the saving throw. And if you roll 20 for the save and the spell is 7th level or lower, the spell has no effect on you, and instead it targets the caster. So basically turns it around.
So if anyone else wants it, I'd take it unless someone else wants it. I guess
Yeah, go ahead, Bill.
Yeah.
Okay,
works.
thank you. And then the last little bit would be, as I go to my monastery, I would have to spend some time in penance, because as I've been adventuring, I've become greedy, I've become worldly, I've like desired things, and that's not a monk. You know,
Sure.
I need to drop off all my gold to the monastery, spend some time in, I don't know if penance is the right word, but purification.
No, penance is
And
probably good. Yeah.
Okay, but then next time you guys see me, I have like whips, like all these scars on my back from whipping myself, right?
Oh
No,
my
but,
God, self-flagellation.
no.
That's not elven at
Flagellating
all.
yourself?
That's not an
Wait.
elven thing to do at all. What are you on about?
Sorry,
That's a
I was,
human thing to do, dude. That's not elven.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, then I only
Yeah.
have half. I only have half the stripes.
You should be in like some sort of
But,
bacchanalian orgy, as you know,
Yeah,
some sort of
Yeah.
That's
meditation.
much
You
more
would you would
appropriate.
basically
Yeah.
cloister yourself for a while and just like do purification, that kind of thing.
Yeah. Lots of sex.
Yeah,
But you do actually meet your adopted mom and dad, though, of course, who are here, and spend some time with them. They're very happy that you're not dead, and of course, they're interested in your stories, as well as you, Adderil. You certainly have made friends here. So your family's gone, but you found new family here. Of course, Adara has been. Almost she's a mentor. She has some aspects of the mother, the sister, and the lover in her, as far as you're concerned, right? So you spent
it's so
certainly,
gross.
but I mean, it is what she is. It's Elvin, right?
The
But
Elvis trailer park.
it is at Elvis Trailer Park, yeah.
You
But
shut
anyway,
up, man. That's my boo.
that's his boo. Now, anyway, all of this stuff takes place. You guys get all that done. You're rested and
Chronic
well
monster.
relaxed. And of course, you have spent the 30 days knowing exactly what you need to do. Because you do come back the day before all of this stuff happens, the day after, and then all this stuff happens after that. And you come back and speak to the king. Now, he has his composure back. And he apologizes for his loss of composure. He said he's never actually touched his god before, and it took him aback. Thank you very much, Slick. And he says, but nevertheless, this situation must be dealt with. Coralane has called upon you. You are the chosen of Coralane, and therefore you must act. There is no question. Therefore, we need to understand what is going on with the Eladrin. Now, this kingdom itself will keep its information to itself, but we will not fall under any sway from the Eladrin. Nevertheless, you need to understand these things are happening within the Murloc Vale, of course. This is where the Eladrin have set themselves up. And we have been getting strange reports from Murloc. We have not sent anyone up there because we have been forbidden from doing so, oddly enough. But we have been getting strange reports that the Murloc Vale does not look as it should. So, I'm going to send you to one of our ancients, and he will know what you need to do. He lives within the Murloc Vale, particularly at the She Pool. And of course, I am speaking of the great hero, Nim Moondown. You will seek him out, and he will direct you further. Any questions?
Why is the
None.
Murloc Veil so familiar? What book, what series was that at?
Oh, it shows up many in the Forgotten Realms, dude. Several of the Harper books, actually.
Okay, yeah. Woohoo!
But anyway, so you are to go to the Murloc Vale, into the She Pool itself, which is a headwater area of a river, and you are to find Nim Moondown, who is a legendary hero. Every elf on throughout the Faerun knows who he is. He's a very old elf. He's known as the Archer, but he is actually a high magic elf as well. He's at least 1,000 years old, if not more. And he's just one of those legendary names that you've read stories about as a kid. Even the humans and gnomes and dwarves and stuff may have heard of him. He's kind of a legendary character. But you're going to seek him out, and he will guide you further into understanding what is going on with the Eladrin. And their connection specifically to Loathe. And of course, this also brings up the conversation of the hideous and most horribly insidious Drow. So
Okay.
now, you guys take your month, and you are well rested and well established. You got all your magic items, you got all your stuff, you're all ready. Lacey will have a couple of extra items too, because I got near 20 grand, so I will spend it on her later. And you are getting ready to leave. You say your goodbyes to Adara, and of course the king and everybody else. Does anyone have anything they want to do before we head out?
Yeah, I'm gonna propose. Ha!
All
Okay,
right.
real quick, for lads, if you wanted to put that enchantment on there, it would be 6,000 gold, and then you have permanent bless.
Yep, I'm doing that.
Okay.
Now, during this 30 days, Baran proposes to Lacey. So go ahead, get on the knee. You're human. Go ahead.
Yeah, I take her aside, and we're under, like, we keep passing by this large archway of roots and trees, and it hits the light just right, where at a certain time of day it just makes her hair shine like it's made of fire. So I get down on one knee and I whip out a ring. I'm holding it, and I said, I found this while we were here, and I proposed to her with a ring of warmth.
Does he have to do a persuasion check for this?
Absolutely, of course he does. Most certainly.
Do not fail this roll.
Oh
Go
my
ahead.
God.
Charisma check, sir.
Roll the one.
Roll
the one.
He gets advantage though. Come on, he gets advantage.
Okay. Oh, I get advantage. Okay.
Roll 2 ones. Legendary botch.
All right. So no. My charisma. Okay. So with that 21.
Sweet. And you get plus 10 to that roll anyway, so 31.
Yeah. 31.
She is so excited and so happy, and she's jumping up and down and grabs you as you're kneeling on one knee. She's so excited she tinkles a little bit, just a little bit.
Oh boy.
But oh my god,
that's a Japanese thing. Not
it is. It's Japanese thing. That's a fair point. But no, she of course has been waiting for your slow ass for quite a while, and she kind of figured she'd be married to you before this adventure even started. Nevertheless. So she is very happy, and of course, elves love a good wedding. That is something that elves, any excuse to celebrate, really. But seeing as you have the chosen, and of course, not all elves are thick-headed. They all understand that you're all the chosen, but you do have the chosen amongst you, and therefore, of course, you get an elaborate wedding set up. They build it. They set it in the actual mead hall down below the throne room, and all the important nobility and high merchants and all the important people are there for the ceremony. The high priestess herself oversees the ceremony, and it is a truly happy day for everyone. Matter of fact, the king even gives you access to his private lodge, which sits on the very edge of the Mythal itself. Has a beautiful overlook into the sea beyond, and you guys spend a nice little weekend. So we now have a married man and woman amongst the group. Yay!
Should I perform for the wedding? Or?
I'm sorry. What did you steal at the wedding, Hobbit? I'm sorry.
No, I said, should I perform at the wedding or no?
I think most certainly you should. Give us a wedding song, sir. Go right ahead.
Okay, and what species again exactly is Lacey? I just want to make sure I don't mess this up.
She's a human.
She's a Nord. She's a Nord. And Baran is a folk, I believe, right?
Okay.
The folk hero.
Yeah.
All right.
Yeah, but everybody thinks your hero's dead, so.
Right.
They're on the boat.
Go ahead. Go ahead, Mr. Singer Man.
All right. Come
Oh, we got to
over.
invite the. Oh, sorry.
Well, now it's ruined. We can't. No,
I
just
fucked
kidding.
it up.
Come over the hills, my bonny human lass. Come over the hills to your darling. You choose the road, love, and I'll make the vow. And I'll be your true love forever. Red is the rose that yonder garden grows. Fair is the lily in the valley. Clear is the water that flows from the Boyne. But my love is fairer than any. And that's it. Yeah.
Very nice, dude. Very nice. Wonderful. A bard that actually sings. Isn't that ironic?
Mhm.
That is really cool, dude. I appreciate that a lot. Matter of fact, I'm so excited about it. You get 1,000 experience points, and there is a young elven lass who's certainly taken to your charm, sir.
Nice.
So it's a beautiful wedding, beautiful music, beautiful food. It's the perfect situation. And as the time passes, the day of your departure comes closer. And you know you must go back into the fray, into the thick of it. What does the future hold? So,
Mhm.
I don't know. We got a half an hour to figure it out, though.
we do. I know exactly what's going on. Now, you guys, of course, Captain Redmayne and her crew have been allowed into the city as well, and for the most part, they behave themselves pretty well. These are not wild pirates; these are guardsmen and such. So they are disciplined people, so they don't get themselves in too much trouble, and they have a little bit of fun. You do notice that when you get ready for your day of departure, or of course upon your ships, that some of the crew is not here and they're a new crew. You actually have some elves on the crew now, right?
Wow.
Finally, all these damn humans.
Yes. Well, they're many of them are excited to be part of the adventures of the Chosen One, of course. And some of the men, these are
Crap.
all men, right? They have found themselves some elven lasses that they wish to endeavor toward. Now, this in Howclad itself, this is a southern Leower elf tribe. So you guys know that the Leower are not like, say, the High Elves or the Golden Elves or some of the other elves, which are very, very against the whole half elf thing. Leower will have no trouble with this whatsoever. Matter of fact, the big argument over the half elf, which I was going to do earlier, but I'm going to do now, is you have a big proportion of the elven community believe that a half elf is a disgusting thing to create because the half elf can never go to Avendor because it is not pure
It's
elf. Now,
That's true. It's sad, but true.
well, not necessarily, because the other half of elves think quite the opposite. Well, Corellon is the god of change and mutation and shapeshifting. So, is not a new form a great thing? So you do have this disagreement in the elven community. The gold elves are so zealous about it that they're almost to the point that they would kill a half elf on sight, although they're just shy of that. Whereas the Leower elves are not as dogmatic. So this is kind of the perfect place to have a mix here in the Moonshea between human and elf, actually. So you
Yeah,
never had any
and they
prejudice
actually
against you.
and some of them actually believe that when the half elf dies, it will actually go to Evandor,
Yeah,
and
some
then it'll
believe, yeah.
start its cycle as a pure elf.
Right. Well, the thing is that with the Drow, half elves do not enter transcendence. Now, transcendence for an elf is when they're really old and they know their time is becoming short because what happens is when they're in their reverie, little crescent moons show up in the bottom of their eyes, and this is why elves use the moon symbol so much. It's because it's part of their aging process. right? And of course, half elves don't ever have this. This is why the argument comes up. But of course, they're short lived. They live hardly anything longer than a human. So this is where the argument comes up. But nevertheless, it doesn't matter. The point being here in the Moonshea, particularly in Hyoclad, there is no problem with a half elf. You have never been mistreated or anything like that. Although elves are elves, so a pure elf is certainly greater amongst elven things than a non-elf, obviously. But nevertheless, the crew is a little different, but it's a full complement. The ship is well set. Any damage that was set to those ships has been repaired quite well. There's a lot of little elven touches. You've spent a month, so the shipwrights have done quite a bit to these ships. They're faster. They're more beautiful. They're stronger. There are magical defenses in place. These are badass ships now, because of
Nice.
course you are the chosen, right? But nevertheless, you travel out and you leave, and you have to find your way into a good place to be able to get to the Murloc Vale where you need to do. So let's come back over to our map. Now, you guys are down over here in Hyoclad, and you need to get up into the Murloc Vale, and you need to get to the She Pool. Now, if you look at my cursor here, the She Pool is right here, right? So it's kind of in the center of the Murloc Vale itself. So you're going to have to find some way to get in. And although Redmane may have opinions about what to do in the ocean, she doesn't necessarily have an opinion how to get in there. Now, you can't get into the Murloc Lake, obviously not. It's locked. You wouldn't want to do that anyway. That's heading right into enemy territory. But you're heading into enemy territory no matter what. So look at this map here and make a decision on where you want to make landfall to head your way up to the She Pool. And like I said, the She Pool is right here, right above the L and Murloc Vale. It's right there. That's where you need to head. That is where the legendary hero Nim Moondown is, and you need to seek his counsel. So direct me, please.
Now when we came around all the way over top of the Winter Glen and came
That's
down
right.
through the Straits of Oleron, right?
That's right.
When we
Yeah.
when we passed the area between Careview and Darkhorn Castle,
Uh-huh.
what did we see there? I can't remember what we saw there because I don't think we saw really much of anything until we hit Borth, and then Borth was on fire.
Well, that's right. Borth was on fire, and you know the city was in rebellion. You had heard, and that the Eladrin had to whatever emissaries they were using, Barath was set low. Kings Bay, of course, you found out was completely in the control of the Eladrin, as it were. In several ways, but as you came down across that, there's a lot of traffic. The Straits of Aileron is just huge traffic. Not only do you have stuff coming from the Sword Coast itself, you have stuff coming from Snowdown and Aileron. Now, keep in mind that for majority of the history of the Moonshea, Aileron is where it's all happening, right? I mean,
Right.
Aileron is where the king of the folk is. Kendrick is his name. And that was the main power. But with the return of the Eladrin, they've lost influence throughout the islands. Things have become quite chaotic. But nevertheless, in the Straits of Aileron, there's just huge amount of trade and ship movement and all kind of stuff. So it was oddly a very safe travel because there's just so much going on.
All right. So I'm assuming we're gathered. So our choice is we could try to make our way back up through the Strait of Aileron to the inlet, the bay there, past Darkhorn Castle. But that's going to take a lot of travel, and that's taking us through a lot of traffic. We may run into ships. On the other hand, we can go around the horn here of the Dwinlock Salt Flats, head up through Lotan's Abyss. Or well, actually, I don't want to go through there.
No, you don't want. No, you don't want to
Yeah,
go through there.
skirt the coastline until we get past Greystone, and then shoot up to the Toadstool, where Toadstool Thicket is, and then make our way across through the Asperhide Gap.
Yeah. Now you guys
That's a lot of on foot.
True, but you guys could skirt past Lotan's Abyss. It's done all the time. But for those of you who don't know, we're not doing this. But for those of you who don't know, Lotan's Abyss is an aboleth kingdom.
Yeah,
no
screw
way.
that.
You don't want to mess with that. Yeah.
I'm not following you guys. So, are you surprised? All right.
Well,
So
the
we go through
Aboleth
the
are
co-
the lieutenants of Cthulhu. How's that?
No. Yeah, I don't care about them. But I'm talking about where are we trying to land on this freaking map?
Yeah, that's my
we
question.
we're at the very where it says Gwyneth. We're at the very bottom left hand side where it says
Yeah.
Hyoclad.
You're over here. I'll put my mouse on.
Okay.
There you go.
Okay,
Right
I
here.
see it.
So our choices, we can either go up, we can go to the left and go straight up. We see where it says Lotan's Abyss.
Into the Firth, Corwell Firth. Or is that?
No,
I'm sorry. No, tell me our destination. I'll try.
Where it says Fenton. You see where it says Fenton?
Yes, I see
And then
that.
it says Toadstool Thicket.
Yes.
We would land past Fenton, closer to where the Toadstool Thicket is, and then walk through there through the gap to the Mirlock Vale. To the Mirlock Vale.
Yeah,
Well,
that's a lot of travel. But
Yeah,
you
that's
guys
a lot
shouldn't.
yeah.
Yeah, you shouldn't land in any city or town. You shouldn't do that.
Well, no, not land at Fenton, but land like further up. More towards the tip. It's still a lot of walking travel, but if we go the other way, that's a lot of ocean travel.
Well, we could go a bit upriver too, and that if we went up, by the Strait of Leviathan, not through it obviously, but
we'd still be a target.
Yeah, and that's about 4 days of perfect travel if you land north of Fenton. And that's assuming you run into no trouble, the weather is perfect. I mean, that's an assumption. So it's probably be more than 4 days, 5 to 7, I'd say.
Yeah, but if we go the other direction, that's going to take even longer, and it's going to take us through the Strait of Alaron, where there's a lot of traffic.
Yeah, I think it would be about the same, to be honest with you. It might even be a little shorter.
Really?
Yeah, a little bit. Yeah.
Going all the way around the entire continent, almost.
Well, I'm talking about your land travel. I'm not talking about your sea travel.
Okay, all of it together.
The land travel would be less.
Would be a little shorter, yeah, because you're going from here to here, compared to going from here to here. It's a tad shorter, but not so much.
Yeah, but my thinking is that the land travel is easier for us to hide.
On the west side, you have peatlands, we have mountain ranges, and we have, so that's hard to traverse. On the east side, that is a lot cleaner land to go through.
Yeah.
And as far as all the traffic's concerned, that doesn't mean it's not.
Well, Captain Redmayne,
and we have badass boats now, right?
You do, and Captain Redmayne has an opinion. She does think that as far as the sea travel, going through the Straits of Alaron would be easier because there is so much traffic. Lacey doesn't have an opinion. She just keeps looking at her ring and touching Baron's ass. Yes.
Oh God.
Is she touching her belly?
No, shut up, dude. She's a mighty warrior.
Oh my God, I hate.
Has Lacey been throwing up in the morning at all?
No, not yet.
No.
Not yet.
You're not that potent, dude.
Quarterstaff. So we should go up to the Strait of Alaron, I think. The DM keeps leaning towards that way.
Yeah.
He will.
Well, actually, the DM doesn't care. To be honest, I don't really.
Adderall would defer to. He'll defer to Redmayne. She knows better.
Yeah, she's the captain. It makes the most sense.
That's true.
Yeah.
So
plus, gotta keep her happy, man.
That's true. All right. All right. So you guys take the Strait of Alaron, and of course the good thing is the ships look different now, because they have been elvenized, basically, whereas they were human ships before. They're still the core ship. They just kind of made a lot of adjustments. And therefore, your ships are not as recognizable as they were. Good thing, right? You head up. You don't have any trouble in the Strait of Alaron at all. There's just way too much traffic. The amount of traffic coming in and out of the Moonshea is quite impressive. It's not only coming from Alaron, but it's coming from the Sword Coast as well. There are a lot of goods that come out of the Murloc Vale, particularly, come out of the Murloc Vale as well, but particularly Alaron itself, and the west coast of Alaron has a lot of trade goods. So there's a direct connection to the Sword Coast. But you guys travel up, and you decide that you're going to make landing in this bay here. north of the Darkhorn Castle, and as north as you possibly can in this bay, because Darkhorn Castle is an Eldrin hold. But like I said, there's so much trade coming into Dultan, which is one of the major ports in Serafal anyway. So there's just the traffic coming in and out is ridiculous. And of course she's able to skirt Care. What is that? Alcin, which is a major Eldrin fort hold in the middle of the strait, and without any kind of problem because you're not recognized. So you land on the in the bay here, and you guys disembark. And she says that she will hold here as long as she can, and if she gets forced to have to leave, she will try to come back every fortnight. Okay. The ships will take care of themselves, and you guys are on foot. Now, at first, as you guys are moving, your first day of travel is quite. Yeah, go ahead.
You want to see, guys? You want to see if any of the elves that are on the boats want to come see the glory for Coraline?
Oh, you want to give me fodder to kill? All right, cool.
Wait, I do have my minions. I've got the minions. Well, they were. I forget who exactly they were going to be. Someone else's minions, but they're mine now.
Religious zealot.
Oh my God! Are you talking about the Crabapple crew?
I do.
Yep.
I am absolutely talking about the Crabapple crew.
Okay, because they were gonna follow Baran, and then he
Yeah.
was like, no, and then Corny's like, yeah, you guys can follow me.
Yeah, they're still on the crew.
Guys will be like,
You're gonna kill a Crabapple crew. Oh my God!
You guys come with me.
Well, let's see. Would we be better as a smaller group?
I think it'd be better as a smaller group.
Yeah, and understand, you're heading into danger, and any retinue you bring with you cannot press the advantage like you can. So not only are their lives in your hands, they're also going to slow you down incredibly.
Yeah.
Now, if you want to bring a retinue, go ahead.
I want to say yes, but my character was like, no, hell no.
Well, I mean, the reason why I bring it up is that's why these people got on the voyage. Right?
Tell you what, guys, I can't. I want to bring you, but everyone else wants to be such a spoil sport. So I'll tell you this: after all this adventuring is done, we're gonna have discussions about the future, and they'll be pretty grand for all of us. Just remember, I'm in charge.
Okay.
Well, are any of these elves the adventuring spirit? Are they strong, stout warriors?
Well, they're all going to be around, 4th, 5th level adventurer type elves. Yeah.
Yeah. Just for the sake of expediency, though, like we need to move quickly and silently as much as possible.
True.
Okay. So the bigger party we have, the easier it's going to be for them to suss us out.
True.
I bow to your wisdom. Proceed. Thanks.
Okay, so you leave them. They set up their camp, and you guys head off toward the Murloc Vale. Now, as you guys are traveling along, the first 2 days of your journey are uneventful. You're heading through the countryside here, but you see farms, for folk farms, and you see some little small elven enclaves, and you don't see any Eldrin whatsoever, which wouldn't be strange. But the first 2 days, no problem. You're able to travel on roads, sometimes a little bit through the grassy fields, and et cetera, et cetera. And 2 days later, you find yourself at the most northern tip of Mal Tabat, which is a forest, a very holy forest within Serafal. There are some legendary stories and lore that are connected to this forest. And you set up your little camp for night, and you wake the next morning, because as soon as you round that tip and head west, you are in the Murloc Vale. So, now, one thing you've noticed as you've been approaching, to this. The last half of your day of travel, really. It was beautiful, sunny weather. I mean, it's cooler, of course, because we are in the winter time. It's certainly colder. There's no snow on the ground, however. But as you get closer and closer to the Murloc Vale, something odd has happened. Now, you guys, I don't know about Bill's character, but Adderall has certainly been through the Murloc Vale at least. Murloc Vale is one of those most beautiful paradises on earth, elven paradises, right? It's a gorgeous place, just the greenest of trees, the most golden of meadows, unicorns, all that kind of stuff, right? It's a gorgeous place. The skies have become darker and grayer the closer you get to Murloc. And with your camp that you set up last night, even with the morning, it's just like this gray, yellow haze in front of you. It's not right. There's definitely something wrong here.
Is it like the vegetation? Is it like dying, or is it
It seems
signs of decay or
withered and decayed? Yes, exactly. So
this is loath?
it probably is. Yes. You guys head into the Murloc Vale, and less than a few before the morning walk march is over. It is you're fully encased in this sickly ochre, mist. And here is what the Murloc Vale looks like today.
Would you call it a miasma?
It is a miasma, most without question. Now,
that's the landscape for a green dragon to dwell in.
it could be.
Shut the hell up.
Now, as you guys are heading along, obviously you're heading into the Vale itself. I would assume your attention is up. Yes.
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 All right.
Very.
So, Baran, you are out doing your scoutingly duties, youngly married man. Give me a scout roll, please. Perception.
Oh, great.
I will give him. Actually, I will give him guidance, and yeah. So
inspiration. There, I inspired.
Yeah. So you get a D4 from me. Add that to your roll, and then whatever his inspiration is D8 now, right?
D10 actually.
Oh wow, yeah. So
Holy
add both
crap.
of those.
So a D20, a D8, and a D4. I think you will succeed at this roll, sir. Don't roll a 1.
Yeah.
Right.
All right. That plus that. That is a 29.
29. All right. As you're moving now, your party is an adventuring party, so your scouting distance is not so far because they all can move at a certain level of stealth. You notice that moving along the edge of trees, about 80 to 100 yards ahead of you, you see movement. So you stop the party, of course, and you kind of eye in on it, and you see moving across the edge of a small glade, you see this, and it is with this
Oh.
in
Yes.
broad daylight.
So what was the first one? I missed it.
Now, of
It
course,
was a second draw.
now, of course, you're not in
Oh.
broad daylight, are you? It is overcast,
No.
and there is
Yeah.
no sun really
Why are they
penetrating this
above
miasma.
ground? Is my question.
Good point. Good point. But you see Drow. Now, of course, for you guys, for everybody here, maybe not the Hobbit, but for everybody here, it's probably the first time you've ever seen a Drow, right? And of course, even though you've never seen a Drow, the elf and even the half-elf, the urge to murder is certainly high amongst you because they are the great traitors. Drew How is basically, in the elven language, is the word traitor. That is what their name means. What would you like to do?
Also means douchebag.
Yes,
I
it
quickly cloak myself with my cloak of elven kind to
Yeah,
make sure that they don't see me.
sure.
And then I make my way back to my group and I warn them that there are drow scouting around.
Yeah, there's two
not too
Drow
far
that
ahead
are
of them.
together. Yeah.
Yeah, these two drow. So then I say, what do we do?
Okay. Well, I just rolled a will save to go out to keep from going out and just straight up murdering them.
Should we ambush them?
Yeah, where there's two that they don't. There could be more. Definitely
They're
could be more
they're
close by.
scouts.
I mean, if they haven't seen us, we might be able to sneak by them.
Now, I won't even bother giving you a roll for this because anybody with historian or arcane skill, which is 2 or 3 of you, you know right well that in Drow society, women lead. It is a matriarchal society,
Yeah.
so you know right well she's in charge of whatever that detachment may be.
Actually, let me see something. Let's see what I have here real quick.
Well, there's our information. That's how we're going to gain some knowledge around here.
Mhm.
Kill the female and keep the man alive and question him.
No, actually, I would say the other way around.
Yeah, because you know
Well,
more.
yeah, probably. But her will be stronger.
Seducer.
Oh yeah,
We've got
me,
Actually,
me.
listen.
that will go well, I'm sure.
Yes. They do eat their mates.
You
I get
underestimate my
slapped
power.
from my
seduction.
new bride
It's true.
for
That is fair.
suggesting that.
Well, Lacey's just waiting and ready. She has this perpetual smile on her face, by the way. It's kind of annoying.
I can go in and distract them. And you guys can
I-
come up from behind and attack them. Unless you want to avoid them.
I can.
Oh, I can grapple now, by the way. So I should do that.
If we whatever
Yes,
we
I can
do,
find it.
whatever we do needs to be quick and quiet. Before we do anything, I think we should have our scout the area to see if he sees any others.
In the meantime, I will follow those two.
All right,
And,
I go
if-
and scout.
Okay, what we can do is I could cast a Gaius on her and lock her down, and then we just have to deal with him.
You mean geese?
When we get
Geese, yeah. Well,
Oh, you
Gaius,
have
geese,
those
whatever.
spells now? Damn, it's getting dangerous.
Yes,
It's
dude.
getting dangerous. All right.
Yeah.
By the way,
Okay.
I roll a 20. I roll not natural 20, but 20 overall to scout to see if there's anything else that we should be worried about.
Give me a stealth roll as well, please.
He
Okay.
has the power of geese now.
Yeah, no.
Yeah,
he
that's-
has the power of Gaius.
Dude, the geese
I
spell
am
is
not
no
very-
joke, man.
Yeah.
I am not
It
very
is-
stealthy. I rolled a 12.
It is a
Oh,
nasty spell.
Am I
I am using my cloak of Elvenkind.
Yeah, I figured.
Does that give?
Okay.
Is that an
So-
advantage, or is there any bonus for that cloak?
Yes, most certainly, yeah. Now, you're skirting along ahead of the party, trying to get a look. Now, you see these two scouts. You keep them in front of you. You kind of cut through the glade, which they're skirting the glade. The little copse of woods here. You're in the copse itself, and it's very small. And you're about halfway in it, and you're keeping an eye on them. But ahead of you, you see something else. So on the other side of the copse, which the rest of the party cannot see, these elves are not scouting, they're returning, right? And this is what you see on the other side of that copse of tree. You see this.
Wow!
Son of a biscuit.
Yeah, bump that idea.
All right.
Yep.
Now, I'm glad he went and scouted again because this would have been a rough fight. But now you see them, and there's a female leader with all these male crossbows, and they're standing at attention. And maybe these two scouts are literally just patrolling for a moving army. Now, this army is not huge. This is more of a, I mean, what we see here, there's probably about triple that number. So what do we got? There's about 30 of them. It's not a very big group. But what they do have is she's sitting there, and it seems that they have about 5 human folk are tied to hastily driven stakes, and they're about to be executed. They're in the process of executing these humans for whatever reason. And the scouts are heading back to this larger group, and of course, this female you see here has already taken one heart, it seems. But this is a better look at her.
Crap.
Well, we can't save everybody, right?
That's true.
Oh,
No.
really? When they outnumber us.
Now, Mr. Scout, give me another perception roll, please, as you're kind of taking all this in.
Why does it have to be that way?
Well,
By
you're the
way,
scout.
You have Yeah,
I
you
know.
have advantage on your stealth rolls with that cloak.
Yeah, and
Okay.
you also got all this magic put on top of you as well. How long does that stuff last?
Uh,
Um.
yeah.
Oh, the
The bonuses you guys
Yes.
gave him, yeah.
I don't think it let.
Inspiration.
Yeah,
It's just for
guidance.
one
Yeah,
roll.
it was,
Okay,
yeah, it was
okay.
just that one roll.
It doesn't matter. He gets
Okay.
advantage on his rolls anyway. Go ahead.
All right.
But this
so,
is not a stealth roll though. This is a perception roll. So just roll a normal one.
Wisdom.
Yeah. So 15.
Oh, okay. That's just enough actually. You barely catch out of the corner of your eye, and you're so terrified by what you see, you almost let out a yelp, but you're able to hold it back. And you press yourself up against a tree as tightly as you can, and you try to just to disappear into that that bark. So give me a secondary stealth roll, please, and do not screw it up, dude.
Yoinks.
Okay, we're good.
Good.
Let's see. That's gonna be a 23.
Yeah, because
All
this is
right.
where Shaggy and Scooby would always screw up.
That's right. This is where Shaggy and Scooby always grow up. Now, what you see moving through the foliage of this small copse of trees, heading back toward this small brigade of drow, you see something that is, well, it's about the size of a horse, actually, and it's just slinking through the undergrowth and moving along, and it's just terrifying thing to behold.
Oh, no.
You've probably heard of them before,
there-
maybe.
Is
But
there
you've never
canopies?
seen one.
Oh
Dude,
crap!
I've always wanted to kill one of those.
A drider is moving through the copse of trees.
I so want to do this, but at the same time, my brain's going, hell no.
Oh, come on, we're the chosen ones.
So I make my way back and I halt the party, and I'm like, we are like just way outnumbered. There's no way. And I relay the information of everything I just saw to them.
Nope.
All right.
New plan. Get back on the boat.
All
So-
right.
Oh, this is hell on earth. This is wrong. They can't be here. They can't be doing this.
Yes. So you have a small
have it?
brigade of drow who have in tow a leader, a hunter. It looks like they might have a scout priestess as well. More than likely that a female has some manner of priestly power. They usually do. And not only that, they have a frickin' drider with them.
How many are there?
Do you
Ron.
want more than one?
No.
No, how many? I mean, sorry, not the driders, but I'm talking with the foot soldiers.
Well, you have
Yeah.
30. You have 30 fodder. I mean, they're drow, so they're not cheap, but they're nothing for you guys really. But you got 30 of those. You have the archer priestess probably. You have this warrior here, rogue probably. You have the the hunter leader of the brigade, and of course you have a drider.
We can take them.
We need
Fireball. Throw a fireball.
Oh God, shut up.
Hey, think out
I
the numbers
look
real
at
quick.
everybody and I with no uncertain tone, I said, we are not fighting here. This is
This
not,
is blasphemy.
Well,
this is not winnable.
it certainly is, but
It's winnable.
it is winnable, I think. But keep in mind that you guys are have never experienced drow before. You don't know their strengths and weaknesses, right? You don't know what's the best tactic. You've never fought this kind of thing before. But nevertheless, this is a perfect spot to end for this week. We are in the Murloc Vale. We are searching for Nim Moon Down. We have a choice in front of us, which is between us and the Murloc Vale, and adventures expound. But our party is well rested. They are magicked up. They're married even, and they have found actual powerful allies. I think that's a very important point to make. You had Captain Redmayne before, and that is an ally. But now you have Hyoclad itself behind you, and that's nothing. That's not a small thing, right? So that's where we're going to leave it off. And let me come back over the other side with the guys. Now, Any closing statements before we get out of here today? It was perfect. 2 hours. So it's right on it, exactly as we should be. So very, very nice. Very nice. Any kind of closing comments for today, guys?
No, I'm liking this. I'm digging it.
I liked it, so I put a ring on it.
He did. He most certainly did. He most certainly
Oh
did.
God.
Yeah. And
No, very cool. A lot of good story development, some good role play, and some depth to our characters. This is cool. Not every episode is going to be wham bam, thank you, ma'am. But this definitely had some thank you, ma'am moments. It was cool.
it did. It did.
Needed
Yeah.
a little bit of a respite after the last few weeks, I think.
Yeah.
Your friendly neighborhood ninja is not happy with me. It says you all need a dwarf cleric with levels and barbarian. It's always a good thing to have. But he also says, "Ew, a drider. That's nasty." And then he says, "Oh, dang, Nab, you leave me on a cliffhanger." Yes.
That's right.
Yes, that's right.
Come back,
That's what we do.
want more.
Yeah.
You will be satisfied with your craving for adventure next week.
Yeah. Well, I think we've done a pretty good job along the way here of doing this 2-hour format. Now, those of us who've been role playing for a long time, we know that the RPGA format of 4 hours is kind of like the smallest you really want to do. I mean, how many of us have sat up all night doing a D&D session? Right?
Oh
Yeah.
God.
yeah.
Into the wee morning hours, right? We've all done this many times. But keeping a format to 2 hours, I thought would be impossible, but I think we've done a pretty good job of it, actually.
Yep.
You've done a good job, Chester, because it's hard to wrangle all these cats and perpetuate a story. So props to you, man.
Well, thank you very much. I've been working
It's
on
been
it.
a lot of fun.
Yep.
It's a good little story,
And,
actually. And by the time it's done, too, I'm kind of thinking there's actually a novel here in front of us that's been unfolding,
Yeah.
There is.
Yeah.
There is.
Good
Maybe,
deal. Good deal.
perhaps a future comic project.
Perhaps. Even.
It'd be awesome. What's great is there's always that reference is always there. All you have to do is pull up Moonshea. I actually started a playlist so I can have them all just for fun,
Yeah.
because I like to hear myself talk.
Well, there you go. Sweet. Rock on. Rock on.
We
All right,
gotta
guys.
put together a playlist of corny songs.
Dude, yeah.
Those are.
Just
It's
a
really
channel.
cool. I love that
Yeah.
aspect of it.
That adds. I love that. Like the guy who's playing a bard in the game I'm running on Thursday with my friends. I made it mandatory as a dude. You have to either sing or play songs when you do your spells. So
Well,
Yeah,
if
why
you do
not?
it every time, if you have to do it every time you do your spell, that might be a bit much. But like,
You should make.
well, he doesn't have to sing. He can just play a song. So he's got he actually likes that aspect. So like, and plus we're playing a modern magic game.
Mhm.
So he's just pulling out like songs from like Everclear and stuff like that.
Oh,
I
I
was
see.
gonna say
That's cool.
you should make Chester have to be a bard, and he's got to whip out the sax, in the middle of the adventure.
Yeah.
Whip out the sax. That sounds naughty. But
That's right.
yeah, actually, whenever you do start that campaign, Bob, I was thinking. Of course, I'll play whatever you need me to play, but I was thinking of maybe an elven sorcerer.
You can
There
play
you
whatever
go.
you want, man.
Yeah, that might be fun.
Cool beans.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Cool. All right, guys. Well, thank you all very much for being here and joining us each week. Next week, we're going to get into finding Nim. That's our main goal. And then, like I said, I really know where we need to go from here. So the next so many weeks are going to be a little more linear, I guess. But that doesn't mean it's not going to be fun. Because we're getting into some actions, and we're going to challenge the ability of these 10th level characters and see exactly what they can get into. Now, this today, there's not a lot of experience for them, so they're not going to level up today because this was more of a down episode, but it was an important one, I think. But we'll definitely get into it. We're going to have a lot of combat next week, I guarantee it. And I got special treats in store for you guys. Oh, it's going to be wonderful.
I was gonna say next week's gonna be real. Next week's gonna be awesome. It's gonna be really sad when Lacey has to lament the death of her husband.
Yes.
But that's
Or I,
Oh, I was expecting a red wedding moment
yeah.
this episode.
Or-
Cordy saddles up and goes, "It's okay. I'll comfort you."
yeah,
That's
no,
it. Yeah. Well,
You'll be
I
right
kind of
there.
I have a creature coming that that creature doesn't know it, but it has plans on eating a halfling. So It's got to have
Yeah.
hobbit breakfast.
That's
So
pretty much every creature you've thrown at us so far, though.
True.
Let's be honest.
They all,
this is true.
they all want halfling eggs for breakfast.
That's true.
Mhm.
Ah.
All right, guys. Well, thank you very much. We'll check you out next week. So I need a namaste. Who hasn't done one yet?
I did one. I think yesterday.
Yeah, you did.
I think the groom should do one.
The groom should do one. The newly married fellow. Go ahead and namaste us out of here, dude.
Cheers, cheers. When in doubt, pull out. Namaste.
Namaste indeed, sir. Namaste indeed.
And
All right,
spray
guys.
and pray,
Namaste.
that's all I'm saying.
Spray and pray. That's right. All right, guys. Later.
Bye bye.